Do you smell it? Can you smell that fresh aroma in the air? No, that is not the smell of the grilled woke wiener. It's not the smell of the corn on the cob, better known as the stiffy. Believe it or not, it's not even the cucumber. And no, the whoopee cushion on The View did not release her top shelf flatulence. It's the weekend. The time when the whoopee cushion goes on a bender, filling her stomach with fresh gas to be released on Monday morning. The aroma that you are smelling in the air this morning, it is coming from the nest of Megan Rapinoe. Her and the Sue Bird, they have taken a break this weekend from rocking the nest. They have decided to utilize their baking skills. Maggie, along with her friends in the mainstream media, they have been busy the last couple of days baking a fresh propaganda pie. Now, if you were to believe Megan Rapinoe in the mainstream media, you would think that women's soccer in America is exploding with popularity. These activists are amazing! These games are so emotional! I was moved to tears as I watched these women stand silently through the national anthem. My woke boner would have climaxed if they would have just kneeled. Look, there is no denying the fact that the Women's World Cup is drawing monster ratings for Fox. Maybe people are watching because Megan Rapinoe is nowhere to be found. Meg has barely been seen on the field. Meggie is such a non-factor, Fox doesn't even show her during the playing of the national anthem. I haven't seen Megan Rapinoe in so long, I don't even know what color her hair is. Could be purple, could be blue, could be blonde to match her inspiration Drew. Now, I don't want to take away any of the credit that these women deserve. The World Cup is performing extremely well for Fox. Their game, I think it was Wednesday night against the Netherlands, 6.4 million viewers. That is a very, very strong number. Megan Rapinoe gave us a classic reaction to this rating. As you guys know, parishioners at Woke United Methodist, they are now allergic to using Twitter since it was purchased by Elon Musk. So the Mexter, she got on Instagram to give us her reaction to these ratings. Welp, we been told, everyone. What? Excuse me? Was that English? We been told, everyone, what? Now, obviously, the insinuation here that Megan Rapinoe is making, she's been telling everyone that women's soccer is popular in America. Now, at this point, it is clear that many Americans are willing to look past the political bullshit and support their country on the global stage. Keyword, their country. That might not be what some of you guys want to hear, but that is the truth. And to be fair, some of these women on the U.S. women's soccer team, some of these women do deserve our support. They're not all like Megan Rapinoe. Like I said the other day, I think the U.S. women's soccer team, they would have been better off if Megan Rapinoe wasn't there, if she would have just stayed home. Through 2 games, Megan Rapinoe has barely touched the field. Seriously. What the hell is the point of having Megan Rapinoe there? What purpose does she serve besides collecting a paycheck? Here we have another situation where Megan Rapinoe is collecting money that she's not earning. A couple of weeks ago, USA Today wrote an article claiming that interest in women's sports is soaring throughout America. This narrative, it is being pushed further now by the mainstream media with the World Cup drawing monster ratings for Fox. But, is this narrative true? Are leagues like the WNBA and the NWSL really surging in popularity? Or is this another case of the mainstream media giving us a partial truth? What is the easiest way to convince people to believe a lie? You stick the lie between 2 truths. Here on the channel, we call it a shit sandwich. We already know this answer when it comes to the WNBA. I mean, the WNBA is about as popular as a hemorrhoid at the Butt Bongo Festival. But what about women's soccer? Is women's soccer really surging in popularity here in America? More specifically, is the NWSL surging in popularity? Unlike the WNBA, I do have a little bit of a soft spot for women's soccer. My girlfriend's daughter plays at the high school level, and I really do enjoy watching her play, but I do not enjoy watching the NWSL, and it appears I'm not alone. I'm going to use the same argument here that I used several months ago with women's college basketball. This past March, the later rounds of the women's tournament set record high ratings, or as the media likes to call it, March Madness. For about a week, maybe 2 weeks, young women like Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese, and the little rapper girl Flage, they were able to capture the attention of America. Seemed like overnight 3 superstars were born. These ladies, I'll admit, they were entertaining. There was controversy. There was plenty of shit talk. I'm not going to lie to you. That championship game in women's college basketball, it was entertaining. But does that mean women's college basketball is surging in popularity? No. Just because you're able to pop a big number one time in March, it doesn't mean your sport is popular. Like I said several months ago, the tournament is the draw, the setting, the atmosphere, the environment, the winner go home scenario. That is what draws people in. If you look at regular season ratings for women's college basketball, you will quickly see that no one gives a shit. I remember pulling several nationally televised games featuring Caitlin Clark in Iowa. They barely drew 200,000 viewers. It's the same thing with the NWSL and the World Cup. The tournament is the draw. The World Cup is the draw. Hell, it's the same thing with the Olympics too. Are you watching competitive swimming on a regular basis? Are you watching gymnastics, pole vaulting, snow skiing, or whatever the fuck? No. But every 4 years, millions of people will watch all these same events during the Olympics. The media is claiming that the NWSL is experiencing a resurgence. Ratings and attendance are through the roof. People are clamoring for women's sports. Every single time I see an article about this, there's always one consistency. When the media talks about ratings or attendance in women's sports, the numbers they provide, they're always in percentages. They never give us actual numbers. They never share actual ratings. They'll just claim attendance is up 17%. Ratings are up 21%. Take our word for it. The NWSL is popular. Yeah, sure. The truth is, 8 of the 12 teams in the NWSL can't convince 10,000 people to spend $10 to come out and watch them play. The bottom third of the league, they can barely convince 5,000 people. Attendance is up in the NWSL because the top 2 or 3 teams are drawing good crowds. But the rest of the league is a complete disaster. We don't know what the league is drawing on television because the ratings aren't made available to us. I wonder why. Since we don't have access to their ratings, let's look at how CBS treats the NWSL. CBS is the primary broadcast partner of this so-called popular league. CBS every year donates $1.5 million for exclusive rights to the NWSL. Just to put that number in perspective for you, NBA teams are spending more on janitorial services than CBS is spending on the NWSL. If the league is such a ratings draw, if Megan Rapinoe is right and women's soccer is surging in popularity, how come CBS only broadcasts 4 NWSL games every year? Television networks are not in the business of burying programs that draw ratings. If the NWSL was so popular, if Megan Rapinoe and her fellow activists were really a draw, how come CBS doesn't feature them more? The NWSL has 23 games broadcast on CBS Sports Network, a network that never, I mean never, makes the top 150 on cable. Hell, Bomani Jones draws a bigger audience than anything on CBS Sports Network. There's 176 NWSL games streaming on Paramount Plus, which the mainstream media constantly complains about. This isn't fair. How come the women are forced to be on a streaming service when the men are on network television? Every time NBA ratings fail to meet expectations, what is the first excuse that the media uses? Cord cutting. They claim that there are more people streaming than there are people who have access to free network television. So, isn't CBS doing the NWSL a favor here by having them on Paramount Plus? The truth is, the NWSL is experiencing minor, maybe even modest growth, but the growth is nowhere near the level that the mainstream media would lead you to believe. But there is something else happening at the World Cup right now that's causing celebrations throughout the media. The 2023 World Cup has accomplished another first, and you guys know how much the shit fucks love a first. I am sure some of my longtime subscribers remember Quinn. You guys remember Quinn, right? Quinn made history 2 years ago at the Olympics by becoming the first non-binary player to compete at the Olympics. Well, it just so happens that Quinn is one ambitious parishioner. It wasn't enough for Quinn to make history at the Olympics. The Quinster also wanted to make history at the World Cup by becoming the first transgender soccer player to compete. Quinn was born a biological female, but now chooses to identify as they. Wait a minute. I'm confused here. All these headlines I am seeing claim that Quinn is the first transgender player in the World Cup. But they also claim that Quinn prefers they-them pronouns. If Quinn was born a female but identifies as transgender, that would make Quinn a transgender male, right? All right, let's just assume that's the case for a minute. How come Quinn is competing against women? I thought the rules we were given by Woke United Methodist stated that birthing persons should be allowed to compete against the gender they choose to identify with. Had the rules changed? If Quinn transitioned from female to male, shouldn't Quinn be competing in the Men's World Cup? Look, this is not about Quinn. I have no problem with the Quinster. Quinn seems like a really nice they. I'm sure Quinn is a lovely person or a lovely they. This is about the rules. I thought the deacons at Woke United Methodist were strict on these rules. It doesn't make sense to me that Leah Thomas chooses to identify as female and is allowed to compete against women. But when it comes to Quinn and the World Cup, all of a sudden, gender identification doesn't matter? Someone please make that make sense. Give me your thoughts. World Cup, huge success for Fox, but NWSL still struggling, even though the Mexter and the mainstream media want you to believe otherwise. Also, give me your thoughts on Quinn. Make it make sense. Is Quinn breaking the rules we were given by Woke United Methodist by competing in the World Cup? You let me know. Sound off in the comments below. Make sure to like and subscribe. Click the notification bell to receive all notifications from the channel. Best way to contact me is by email at btlkc84@gmail.com, KC_BTL84 on Twitter, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.